My name is Sonia Kunal. I'm the founder of Bitcoin Events, the organizers of the Blockchain Africa conference today. I'll be taking over from John Karanja today as the Master of Ceremonies. Unfortunately, John has had a family emergency. He's had to fly to Ireland to be with his family who have COVID. So our apologies for that, but hopefully we'll still have a fantastic day with me being the MC. And with that, I'd like to introduce you to our next speaker, Christopher Light. So Chris is the founder and the CEO of E-Livestock Global. He's actually joining us from Washington today, so it's super early. It's 5 a.m. in the morning there. So thank you, John, for joining us so early. And Chris will today be discussing his company's launch of a blockchain-powered livestock solution that has been piloted in Zimbabwe. Very interesting, and also using MasterCard's provenance blockchain technology. So with that introduction, Chris, thank you. I'm handing over to you.
Thank you, Sonia, for a wonderful introduction. You did such a great job. Not sure there's too much to add. Actually, kidding. Good morning from Washington. I think it's still morning in Johannesburg, so it's fantastic to be here, to have the opportunity to connect. One of the things, while we're a Washington D.C. based company, we are very active in Africa, and we're very interested in the ecosystem and want to support the ecosystem and grow the sort of blockchain ecosystem. So while we're on the supply chain side, the sector as a whole is very important to us. And I look forward. I wish I could be with you all in person, but I understand from John's speech this morning that next year that's more likely. So in any case, about E-Livestock Global, we were founded in 2019, and we're headquartered in the biotech quarter of the Washington, D.C. area. We're a venture capital funded social enterprise. Our official launch was in June of 2021. I'm a co-founder along with Max Mekavisi. People love startup stories and sort of the mysticism of it. So our startup story does involve a dragon in a castle. So I'm not going to share more on that there, but something to think about. So what is our aim? You have to have a mission and a purpose. Our aim is the livelihood of rural and commercial farmers by enabling traceability of their cattle. We're basically a healthy cow company, healthy livestock, but cow is our initial focus point. And then, by using cutting edge affordable technologies, we have delivered a world-class solution that can be applied globally. While our focus is the smallholder farmer, we were pleased to be awarded Best in Blockchain Solution for Africa in 2021. So while we're here for the smallholder farmer, awards are nice. So, I'd like to introduce you to Elvis. He's an artisan created cow. There's some delicacy with doing demonstrating things using live animals. So into our lives came Elvis, who basically allows us to do easy demos without the need to use real animals. He's actually becoming quite a social media celebrity. So he's even been featured in a couple of articles, and he's getting a little bit of an online following. So there's things you plan to do, and then there's things that happen. So anyway, this is how we got Elvis. So a lot of people asked us, "Gosh, why Zimbabwe? Why blockchain?" I think a lot of people are still confused by blockchain. You say half the time it's getting better, but half the time when you talk to someone, you get you realize that you're talking about blockchain, but they're actually talking about Bitcoin or crypto. But it's all part of the education and informed process. Anyway, there was a health outbreak in Zimbabwe, and it had a large impact on the cattle industry, which was an important industry to Zimbabwe, and one that historically was great for exports and a point of pride for the country. So and there was a national dipping system. When I talk with people in the U.S., they're like, "Oh yes, Zimbabwe, the country with the swimming pools for cows." But it had good infrastructure, which we're we're pleased to be able to work with, and that'll be that. So our system, basically, we wanted to keep a neutral price point, but we put in a smarter tag, which was great. The technology has come along, and we have a radio frequency ID scanner, and then of course they say there's an app for everything, so we have an app that the data. We with the innovation, people can stay further away from their animals, and then our solution has actually been written up in RFID Journal, so it's been published in the U.S. as a sort of top tier solution. So when we say we're a global company, we took a global solution to Zimbabwe, and now it's going to the world. So just to show a little bit more background, our system that has a dashboard and GIS function, and it's very useful for sort of remote management of livestock. You can see all the data on either your phone or your mobile or on your home computer or work computer more appropriately. And then it's data is important. Data privacy is important. I always get a question on that. So it's segregated, and we're able to. The smallholder can see information on their animals. The commercial farmer can see information on their animals. As we're a health system, the veterinarians can see the electronic health record that's in there, and that can either be obviously government or private. And then we find that government ministries are quite excited at the prospect of having sort of aggregate level information on animals, and it's closer to real time. If you were to think of doing a cattle census, what would happen typically is you do a count, and then you would wind up with a paper document. With our system, if you were to do a cattle census with our system, you would wind up with a living document, so to speak. So one of the things that we're really quite proud of, and we just finished piloting is collateralization of livestock. We're all about digital and financial inclusion. I should say too that our system does not need to be used by the farmer in order for them to benefit from it, and as long as they're registered. So that's where the digital inclusion comes in. We would love for them to use the system, but they don't need to start. But we think that financial inclusion is very important, and we see there's 250 million cows on the continent of Africa, and I think a lot of people globally miss this because they tend to think about the individual countries as opposed to the entirety. So we see 250 million cows in Africa as potential to be collateralized. We see it as $1 trillion opportunity, and we see it as providing access to credit and offering financial inclusion for farmers. So for our pilot, the insurance industry, who was unable to offer cheap and affordable insurance to farmers based on traceability, and wanting to do. There was no electronic system, and then obviously the issue of the smallholder farmers accessing loans with our system. They're able to do this. I'm just going to demonstrate a smart contract. Many of us are familiar with this, so I'm just going to. It's just a simple program or protocol. But if you were to think about how a smart contract for cattle might work from a 12-month perspective, just a short loan term with a reasonable interest rate. We're not in the business of people losing their cattle. It's really about providing access to financing for people to for farmers to use for other things. If you were to think about issuance of it, you would get a lien within the blockchain. You'd have a lien recorded against the animal, so that the farmer can only borrow against it once. You would issue an insurance policy to cover the transaction, the overall transaction. Then you would do the disbursement of funds. That would be block one. And then if you were to get to the end of if all terms are met, you get to payment, the 12th payment, the lien closes, and the insurance ends. So it's fairly simple, and we think it's got a lot of potential. So trillion-dollar market. So one of the things we ran into in Zimbabwe and not just in Zimbabwe, 90% of transactions in Africa are still cash based. So there's just tremendous opportunities for within the crypto and blockchain fintech space for just automating transactions. 90% of transfers are cash. So one of the issues we had was we had a need to collect $3.36 payments, and then it's very hard to do that without paying more than that in fees. So we introduced a digital wallet, which basically allows us to aggregate and consolidate those transactions, sort of bundle them to get around the fee issue, and then allows us to actually collect money without spending more in the money we collect to do it. So again, we see when you have these health records, someone who's purchasing an animal or is interested in not only is it good for the farmer while they're keeping the animal, they have less mortality, et cetera, we find, but also if they want to sell or export, this record can be accessed remotely, and we're looking at doing virtual marketplaces where we can connect the buyer and the seller, and then it can all be done remotely. I guess even after COVID, we'll still do some things remotely. So obviously, rural incomes will potentially be improved, and then we have the financial inclusion part again. Governments are always excited about hard currency from exports. Again, our system is already being used for fighting outbreaks and controlling outbreaks, and then also for tracking and stopping rustling, which is a bit of an issue. Competitive, as Sonia mentioned, we're partnered with MasterCard for our blockchain solution. We have a top tier development team, so we're able to be flexible and functional, and can meet. One classic mistake is that all countries are not the same, and in the issue of in the case of expanding to other markets, we just added Mozambique as a second pilot location. We're able to meet the local requirements. The other thing is ours is a farmer-focused solution. Most solutions look at supply chain, and think about that side of the equation, not the farmer. So it's kind of like the farmer is forced to use a system that they were never consulted on. As a social enterprise, we're also interested in the UN SDGs, and then it works great for commercial as well. Smallholder system and smallholder farmer in mind. So I'm the technologist, the core technologist on the team, as is our lead developer. But everyone else is a farmer. So the animal. It's not just Elvis who is the star of the show. Before that, the cow, the livestock was always the star of the show. We keep a low price point. We're very lean and scalable. And then we as I mentioned at the start of the presentation, we didn't anticipate winning the best blockchain in Ag and Africa award from Digital Banker, but that happened, and people have just been very positive and supportive. One of the people MasterCard we've never actually met called us, said we were decent, and decency is a good thing, I think, and it's one of the things we encourage in the blockchain space. There's always some stuff going on seems like some stuff going on in the crypto area that or NFTs or we're all about we're about middle of the road blockchain and supply chain. So this is a selection of where we've been published. It's updating all the time. We were pleased that China Global Television came and did a feature on us. Certainly our technology is appreciated, and the solution we have is appreciated not only worldwide but also in Asia. And with some of the things that China's doing with blockchain, we find that a big compliment. People like to do how it started and how it's going. So if you were to see Elvis at the beginning, now Elvis has a family. So thank you, and I'll move over to questions. There's a question. We use Mastercard's blockchain. That's one. Sonia, why did I choose Mozambique as the second country? The payment platform, we're actually pretty agnostic. So as we expand, we're interested in solutions. For Zimbabwe, we're about to go public, so I don't want to share who our partner is yet. But we're working with actually some Southern African companies. So it's not just Mastercard. Mozambique is the second country. Well, they were interested. They were actually very eager to get going, and we have Danilo on our team who will be heading that up. South Africa. We're in discussions with South Africa as well, but that's quite preliminary. Other countries, we're in discussions all over the world. If you have a country that you think would be interested, just let us know. Yeah, Kenya. This is funny. Yesterday, I was telling Sonia I was presenting in Morocco, and a question came up about Kenya, and yes, we're very much interested in Kenya. I have a little bit of history. I lived in Kenya for a couple of years growing up, so we're it's personally very, very interesting to me. Have you experienced any cultural fallouts as live? Oh yes, exactly. This is the whole point. What one of the have you experienced any cultural fallouts as livestock is considered a store of wealth in some communities? Yeah, we're actually all about recognizing the fact that livestock in Africa is a store of wealth. There's some movements in some of the more developed countries to actually get out of beef entirely, or beef production, and there's some encouragement to do that in Africa. But our point is that you have to be careful, because as I say sometimes in meetings, in Africa, the cow is kind of like the bank. People add stock as they build wealth. So we're being very, very careful about that. So. I think. Wow. So, is Mastercard focused on livestock in agriculture in Africa in particular? I think Mastercard is focused on digital and financial inclusion. And by the way, as they've been a great partner to work with as a small business. I quite literally had to take this idea and go to New York and pitch it on Fifth Avenue, and then I had to go find some VC guys, and they have been great to work with. So, yeah, we do plan to support DeFi for farmers. Yeah, we're absolutely, what we would see ourselves too is if you think about, and I guess I forgot to mention that the London School of Economics is using us as a case study, and actually we're in discussions with MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, for the same thing. You could think about us as like a cattle platform or a livestock platform, and then there's just various connection points from there. So, where can I get the white paper? I'm happy to share more materials. If you want a white paper, one of us is going to have to write one. We do have the business case study. But please feel free to contact me through the event. And yeah, as I said at the start of my presentation, we're very interested in partnering with and working within the blockchain ecosystem. So please do reach out, and we want to hear from you. We want to talk with you, and if you think there's something we're doing right, we love to hear that. If there's something we're doing wrong, I will be in the lounge section. Yep, I've been here. I've actually been here both days because I've really enjoyed some of the sessions. I think. I mean, kudos to Sonia and this event for it's really been quite fascinating. So, let's see what else we have here. Where can I get the white paper? Okay. I think I got all the questions. We're interested in the Kenya question is part of a broader. We're interested in the Horn of Africa, as that's a big cattle area. The other to answer Sonia's question again, the other Mozambique, sort of Zambia, Malawi, they have similar health requirements, so it's very easy for us to take our system and just roll it out there. It doesn't require a lot of modification. We're also working on additional language versions. Cost benefit of the system? Well, it's basically how do you cost out the reduction in mortality or the additional export access or the higher value in transactions? I think those are all pretty obvious. So you can reach me. People are asking how they can reach me. I can be reached here. People are dropping their email. I'm also if you go to E-Livestockglobal.com, that's our website. There's a contact form there. And certainly anyone who writes really nice presentation, I'm more than happy to talk to. All right, so I think we're winding up in terms of questions, and I see our MC is back.
I'm back. That was a great presentation. Thank you so much, Chris. Fascinating. It's actually the first time we've had anyone speak about what you spoke about today in the 8 years that we've been running this conference. So hopefully we'll see you at our next conference, which will be in Johannesburg in person. And that will provide you with the opportunity to network with our community. As you say, you would like to be networking with the people in Africa. Please try and come to our conference in Johannesburg next year in March. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.